Hello. So, a while back, I deleted all of my social media. Now, that doesn't mean that I don't like socializing. I just haven't seen social networks that bring you new connections that last offline. Likes and shares are really only faking friendship. We appear more connected than ever, and yet we have never been more torn apart. It doesn't have to be this way. There doesn't need to be this weird trade off between real and digital connections. The internet can help us. So why does seeing glossy photos of Charlie D'Amelio or of that one semi-successful guy from high school give us this miserable feeling of FOMO? The answer lies in how companies make money by taking your data and treating you like a science experiment. The enemy is content newsfeed and recommendation algorithms. And what's more, they're leading to a mental health crisis where users compare their lives to other people's highlight reels. Depression and anxiety rates have skyrocketed, coinciding with the widespread popularity of modern social platforms. We're also witnessing a new onset of political extremism because content recommendation algorithms create thought bubbles rather than showcasing new ideas that account for both sides. Why would a pundit present a fair account of both sides when they can easily cater to a loyal fan base who will always choose the same arguments, filling in a cozy echo chamber? More broadly, we're also seeing a generation filled with antisocial tendencies. People would rather swipe on someone's photos than bear the risk of talking to someone at a bar. Is this really the paranoid and aloof world we want to live in? Apps are taking advantage of our fears. And after incurring all of these harmful consequences, why are social media users still so lonely? I thought the internet was supposed to connect us. People brush these negative effects to the side, and that's because we have nothing to compare existing platforms to. The internet is still relatively new, and we're prototyping how to use it to connect the world. There's some thrill and serendipity that our generation is losing. The thrill of face to face interacting with people who may or may not you may not liking to. That's okay. Not every interaction needs to be perfect. If we had a more authentic, less exploitative social network where you could just talk face to face and we didn't view these interactions as media, that would solve those problems. Timelines and stories were a great first go, but somewhere along the way, we started hyper optimizing for people's eyeballs rather than building to satisfy the demand for going on a social network in the first place, which was just to socialize. So come on Varty, the virtual party, and just socialize. We're really not taking advantage of you. We're not exploiting your data, and we certainly don't want you coming on here to feel insecure. We want you coming on here because you have some hole in your social network or social graph, and you can fill it yourself. Meet people more efficiently than in real life and transcend limitations like location. That's what the internet is good for. That's the true power of the internet when used as a force for good. We can take the good of social media and chop out the bad. So we make money by just charging people to host large events. We don't need to learn about your private browsing history. We don't care. Connect to people without seeing a profile. I mean, who really cares about that anyway? People can't be reduced to profiles. This is such a reductive way of thinking that has infiltrated our generation. Just talk to that person in a medium where that is actually encouraged, where you can virtually walk up to a person in a group you find interesting. Kind of like in real life, it's kind of a middle ground between FaceTime and Facebook. We're really just learning from what works in real life. You enter a space like a bar and you approach people just by walking up to them. And on Varty, that means entering a video chat. So imagine a world where you enter virtual spaces to find people with common interests and backgrounds. Maybe alumni of your university, or your New York City Star Wars fan base, or whatever space, and you can authentically interact. You don't screen people and get to meet people you might not organically encounter in real life. Meet anyone. That's a superpower we've all been given by the internet. And guess what? It doesn't have to fuck up your psyche too. Thank you.